3, 2, 1, action. Hey guys, welcome back to Off the Record, where we talk about whatever we want. And thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. We love
Patreon!
Special shout out to the Heimlich and the defibrillator tears. I almost said fears. Why did I say that?
It almost sounded like you're gonna say fears too.
I almost said
Maybe you're scared right now.
Am I feared?
Maybe that is your fear.
Are you afraid?
Yeah, I think you're afraid of something.
Because we were talking about like break-ins and stuff. That scared me. So
That excites me.
Are any of you guys prepared for like, in case this whole quarantine thing gets crazy and there are looters and bad guys and
No.
breaking into
that's why
supermarkets?
I just asked Joe, I'm like, do you have an axe or a sword or some shit that we could borrow that's not a firearm because that's illegal?
Spiky
Do you
ball
know-
chain that he has.
I don't know how your guys'
medieval
brain
stuff.
works,
A mace?
but my brain works in the order of super chaotic to normal, right? So the way I can deal with crisis and panic is like, let's say as soon as I got back from the Europes, right? America's in a much more scared state than Europe was. You can feel it in the air. People here are more on edge. You see the racism, the craziness, right? So when I got here, my mind went straight to a zombie apocalypse level of crazy. As I start knocking these check marks up of like, okay, got my guns, got my food, got my emergency pack, got this, got my water, it'll last me this many days, I got my fucking stove, whatever, right? If we run out of electricity, what can I do here? I'm thinking about all the craziest apocalypse shit. Once that's covered, then I get to the next stage. But I think most people, they adjust to what's appropriate at the time.
Yeah, they start on the safe side.
They start on the, safe.
They go this way instead of starting with what's the most dangerous.
Yeah, because I was wondering, why the fuck do you need so much toilet paper? But they're thinking, let me get a lot of toilet paper because that might not, I need to wipe my asshole.
My ass instead of robbers.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Instead of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, how can you be buying toilet paper instead of canned food? Well, that happened too, but
And the pasta's gone.
yeah, what the fuck?
There is no
No,
pie.
there's still healthy pasta because no one wants that.
No one wants gluten-free pasta.
If you go there,
Right?
you only see the healthier ones. You're like, guys, we can eat this too. That's still an option.
Yeah, they don't think of necessity. Like I'm thinking, okay, I got in order of foods. While I was getting like my meat and steak and whatever, right? I was also buying beans and canned goods and things that will last me because I'm thinking in stages. Like I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna eat my salads and fucking like, you know, the things that are gonna go bad first. But if shit hits the fan, I'ma fuck with this macaroni right here.
Macaroni out of all things.
I'm more prepared in the protecting myself, not as much in the food, because
Then you're gonna starve to death.
You don't have a lot of dried foods?
no, I did, and then I started using it because I didn't want to go out, and then like grocery
You ate it
store.
all?
Yeah, I ate it all. Then grocery store started getting more packed.
Does anyone have a generator? Because I think about that too. I'm like, what about electricity? You never know.
I've been wanting to get one of those
You can,
solar
yeah.
ones.
You could always just make fire too.
Oh wait, we have solar panels. Would they work?
I don't know if it's enough solar panels to power the entire.
You need to get a battery for your house now.
You know
too.
what I did? I got a box of candles that'll last for like 8 hours per candle. And I was thinking like, well, I'll operate with the sun. And if the electricity goes out, I'll just burn these candles and go to sleep early.
That's tight.
And I have a 5-gallon gas tank. So my car's now always on full. And if shit goes down, I have my gun pack, my emergency pack, and my food pack. I'm gonna throw that in there with the can of gas. And I'm just gonna go out like fucking road warrior.
That's
Yeah, where would you go?
Mad Max style.
I know, I feel safer at my house than actually on the road. But if I
Yeah.
have to get away from LA,
Going to the mountains.
Yeah, just drive.
everyone's gonna be going to the mountains.
Well, you get there first.
Casey and I started watching Doomsday Preppers.
I love that show.
Whoa, that's intense.
Now they're not that crazy.
Yeah, no, it's like really relevant now.
No.
I'm like,
I
oh.
keep thinking about them. I'm
They're probably like loving this.
I told you so.
That's what I think they're saying.
Yeah.
There's a guy in his bunker right now that's like fucking chilling and eating, and he's like, I know I'm not sick. I told you, motherfuckers.
Damn. I know, because all this stuff happens, it really makes you think about like worst case scenario, like the end. Because the first day that I heard about all this stuff happening, I ended up having like a mini panic attack. So I'm like, oh my God, we don't have any food in the house. How the fuck are we gonna survive if we have to be locked down like this instant? Like it was irrational. Like I wasn't even thinking clearly, but I was just like, this is scary. I don't want to die. I don't want my family to to not.
Well, it's
like,
good. You're
have-
thinking about surviving, which is cool.
That's true. That's so unlike me.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, because you said you said something happens, you want to just kill yourself.
You should start preparing the news already. You should watch the news. You should watch the news and she's already putting the thing
I was
over her neck.
surprised you and Nikki didn't fucking off yourself as soon as we found out that
know
this was
why?
happening.
No, you know why? Because for me, I think, and Nikki too, like if it has to be something so insanely severe, like a zombie apocalypse, where people are fucking dropping dead like left and right, like every minute, like there's someone dying.
You wouldn't want to live through that?
No!
That's like my fantasy, low-key.
I'm done. I'm like, peace out, everyone. Good luck.
I would love for there to be like a zombie apocalypse.
Why?
I want to be able to fuck somebody on the top of my roof while zombies are walking around, and it doesn't even matter because no one's gonna call the cops on us.
I was thinking you missed the word like fuck someone up on your roof. But I realize you're talking about sex now.
Okay, there's a fireplace. She's holding that mother.
Fireplace on the roof? Oh, the chimney.
Holding the chimney for support. I'm just fucking doggy styling, and then I'm just out there like, peace out, zombies. Fuck you,
If one of you
motherfucker."
slips, the other one's being eaten by zombies.
True.
No, and then not just that, but you're assuming that these zombies will be like the zombies that we watch on TV and in the movies where
Walking
they can't
Dead.
climb and shit. But what if they're like humans?
World War
but
Z or
dead?
whatever.
Like humans can fucking
start
climb, you know?
Jumping on top of each other.
Like,
But you know
real
how
fast.
easy
Yeah, like
it is?
World War Z. Is that
Do you know how easy it is to kick somebody when they're trying to climb?
But from all sides?
So you just
That's
you just
true,
fucking
all the sides.
Joe's not stop fucking no matter what. We keep going.
Wait, how'd you get the girl anyway?
Huh?
How'd the girl get there?
Well, I think I'll prepare by.
zombie girlfriend?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, you said you would be down to fuck.
No, but I could get the virus that way. It could be transmitted through bodily fluids.
What if it's just transmitted through bites or something? Like something where you could still fuck them.
Now we're talking.
Right? I knew it.
Not muzzler.
But I didn't get consent though, so I don't think so.
Oh.
I didn't get consent. I'm not like that.
What if she was like zombie turning you on? Like zombie, what's the word? Seduction, zombie seduction.
That's like one of the phases.
She's giving me consent?
I mean, she's seducing you.
All right, well, if she gave me consent, then that's cool. But we can't do oral. Can't do oral, because she'll bite
That's
me.
dangerous.
Yep.
Wow. What would you do if it was a zombie apocalypse and I'm like, listen, good luck. I'm out. Peace out.
The first thing she does is bail from you. You have a better survival rate with him.
I don't know.
I think I would have a hard time convincing you not to offer something than dealing with the zombies. You're the bigger task at that moment.
Like every time you look away, I'm like trying to kill myself somehow.
No, the knife stays over here.
Do you have the go-to method? Like, like a bunch of Tylenol?
Do you have pills on standby to do that? Because like
She got a lot of Tylenol.
we don't have enough pills.
You got a bottle of Tylenol.
That's a good question.
You still gotta go to the store to get the pills then.
No, I mean I have a big ass pack of. I have like an Advil pack of like. It's huge.
Really? Can you die from that much Advil?
I think so. Maybe try.
I wouldn't want to try.
A whole bottle? You probably can.
Oh, you know, okay, fine. My first go-to is pills. If there's not enough pills, then we're reparking our cars because right now I'm the one inside the
Suffocate
garage,
yourself.
and then I'm gonna put his car
You Casey, hey, can we switch cars?
or the stove.
And you can't do it with your car, huh?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, let's switch because I have an electric car.
Well, you can't drive my car though. It's that stick shift.
You're just there for hours trying.
You're draining the battery. There's nothing
Electric
happening.
car.
You still somehow die.
I was like, hey, Case, can we switch cars? I'm gonna kill myself now.
That's a lot of work, man.
Okay, so if that fails, then I'll try to just drive off into something and crash into something.
But won't you test to stop?
But what if you fail and you just now got broken ass bones?
And you're just laying there, and then they come for your body, and they rip you to shreds. Then you
you know
feel
what?
every single
Okay.
fucking
Will they
thing.
rip you to shreds?
Actually,
I don't know.
I would go to the zombies before trying to crash myself into something.
Yeah, would you want to be a zombie girlfriend for him then?
Would you want me to be?
At least she'll stick around, but she's comfortable now.
She might be easier to deal with though.
I believe that. I truly believe that.
You could tie her ass up until they find the cure.
Yeah.
That's what happened in Shaun of the Dead. He tied up his best friend
Oh,
and
yeah.
played video games.
Yeah, tie her up until the cure comes.
That's pretty cool.
Or
I
like
watch
in
The Office still.
Dawn of the Dead, I think, where she was pregnant and they were keeping her pregnant because she was gonna give birth to the baby.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's why they did that in Shaun of the Dead at the end where he kept his friend. Because it was a parody of that one. Got it.
I told Ryan that like if the apocalypse happens, he needs to come over with his guns because I don't have any. And I'm like,
Why does he come over to you? Why don't you go to him?
well, I was gonna finish because in my house, I'm like, I feel like I'm preparing for my house to be like I can
The
survive.
Fortress?
Fortress.
Well, no, because I can build all the shit we need to build. I got a garden in the back, so we can survive off of.
Oh,
You have a garden?
you're like defense, he's offense.
Yeah. So I got the defense. I got the house. I can have an extra bedroom he can stay in.
That's pretty good.
Bring over your guns. You can stay for free.
But what about his family? He's gonna abandon his
Yes.
family.
Yes.
What kind of veggies do you have?
I have some chili peppers.
go,
I have some
vegan?
cilantro.
You can't survive off of that shit.
Well, I'm just starting, okay? I'm getting there.
I was gonna go over there too, but you don't have anything I like.
You need vegetables.
I do. I have some veggies that I can make Vietnamese soups with. I don't know the names of it because it's in Vietnamese.
It's a Vietnamese vegetable.
So I can survive just off of it.
He's got like 2 leaves. Don't worry, dog. I got a garden.
Getting there. It's getting there.
Now we gotta wait another month to regrow it.
That's the part that sucks about like growing shit though, is you gotta wait till season. So you could starve those 3-4 months without it fucking growing, you
There's
know?
some year
They're
round.
rotating crops.
Yeah.
Year round. Thank God we live in California.
Or you can eat Ryan.
You ever thought
And then take his guns.
I was at the grocery store looking at all these people and I'm like, most of you are not gonna survive and most of you do not need these groceries.
No, yeah, I was kind of like judging people. I was looking to their cards. I'm like, you don't know how to prep.
Yeah.
Idiot.
As you're getting all this alcohol.
Nadeem's just right there with his guns like, I don't need to prep, my neighbor's prepping for me.
Wow.
So I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm like Joe. I had all kinds of canned food, all kinds of instant. So I have like the stuff that's gonna last a long time, the stuff that'll last a medium, like my frozen stuff, and then I have the stuff that was just for fun that I was gonna eat. I was ready with that. Then I have all my guns and stuff prepped. I have a tent prepped, like a lantern, all those things in case I have to run away. But I'll probably stay at my house because I have cameras and shit.
Yeah.
But then if it were to like cut out electricity, then I'd probably build a fire. You know all that.
If our government shuts down and we were talking about this and you're like, if the military is like broken up, that's when we really gotta worry.
Because that's when, if like, because we're at that time we were seeing all these videos of like National Guard and tanks and stuff coming into town. So I'm like, if there is still military, if the government still has military, there'll still be infrastructure, meaning there's still gonna be laws. Citizens are still want to do the right thing. They're still gonna trust the cops and all that stuff. But if the military starts turning on themselves and it really is a dog-eat-dog world, then that's the time where things hit the fan, and then maybe people are trying to like hijack tanks so they can take that home in case, you know, you just never know how crazy things.
Like revolution.
Yeah, I figured a bunch of factions would, pop up, and I'd advertise myself to them. I'm like, hey, I can fix your car, I can weld you shit. Just, take me in, protect me. You know.
Yo, we're gonna build our own army.
I'm like, hey, I got a
JK
vagina.
Army?
Well, yeah. We're gonna have real Jomali. That's why I'm all
So you guys
excited.
have all the guns for me? I don't need guns.
Dude, that'll be crazy if we can actually form one. Cause like we study this shit in history, right? We're like, governments, there's always uprisings.
There's revolutions, yeah.
One country takes over another country and like whatever, right? I don't know, man.
What would happen if, because they were talking about like martial law and stuff, like what would really happen?
A kung fu master will come out and say, I'm the law.
Name Marshall?
Martial law.
When real martial law happens, then all of our normal like civil liberties are gone, because then now it's military law. So which means before they need a warrant to go in your house, now a soldier can just kick your door down and go in your house and search wherever the fuck they want. They can throw you wherever. They can go, you four need to be in that corner. It's like pretty much like wartime. You four need to be in that corner because I have some shit I have to do over here. Yep. And then so it's the world that you know it, the America that we are known to love, like freedom of speech, like all these normal liberties, a lot of them are gonna be like shrunken down.
So the government has every right to do anything they
do
want.
whatever they want for the sake of the government and the good of the government. So what you think is cool, like
Is that communism then?
not really, because it's not like everyone's still working for like a common goal. It's just like it's just more like it's more tyrannical. We're gonna shut this shit down, and you civilians are not just civilians. You guys are actually part of the military. You have to listen to what the fuck I have to say.
Like North Korea kind of shit.
I don't know if
Like 24/7.
Civil War was the last time we did martial law or whatever, but then they literally can confiscate like property and be like, we need this for an outpost or whatever, and
We have that
soldiers will
law
come in.
now, right?
I don't
They
know.
confiscate properties in the south for like the border and shit right now.
But our governor did come out and say if he has to like what is it called, like establish martial law to fight this corona shit, he will do it. That is what they said too.
Why are all the tanks in downtown LA?
Oh, I thought.
tanks there?
Yeah. So
Why are they parked at this point?
I asked why that was. because you also see tanks going into Texas as well, like Houston and all that. And then I asked like my military buddies to like look into it, and they say apparently all these tanks are being deserviced or whatever, and then the Marines are what I told you what it was. It was like, what is it called?
I asked my buddy too. So there's like a tank battalion that got disbanded. So I guess the Marines figured out they don't need tanks anymore or something. So they're just sending them all to somewhere else.
It's just a weird, ironic time.
That sounds like bullshit.
Just the timing with like the National
like a
Guard
fucking
coming in.
cover-up.
They ran out of things to do, and they're like, hang out in downtown LA.
Yeah, what?
It's just, well, I guess the trains just have to pass by there.
They get decommissioned, right? And then they came through Long Beach Harbor, and then they're going to Texas. So everything that goes through LA, it's coming through Long Beach Harbor. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just threatening martial law. Yeah, it could happen any second. And oh, you know what? We're scheduled for deservicing some tanks and military vehicles simultaneously. Don't worry about
But will
it.
they go through with tanks? That's a little overkill.
I think, well, the tank thing, yeah, because I did ask other military guys, is like, why would they use that against its own civilians,
Yeah.
right? Like, isn't it overkill? And they're like, yeah, it's not really good in urban settings. And also, they're not gonna shoot rounds into our cities and destroy our own economy. And
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, why? And then even in Texas, like, why?
But we've seen like the Tiananmen Square where there's some guy just got ran over by a tank. And I don't know why the fuck a tank's in the middle of the city.
That time, that version of China was in a position where they were like, we'll kill our own people.
that shit's North Korea status back then.
Yeah.
And I heard there were like hundreds of thousands of protesters in Beijing, and they didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, so they were just killing people
Damn.
just to shut them up.
See, that's some crazy shit right there.
That's crazy, yeah.
And when governments just change powers, or like what's happening in Venezuela right now, like they're so broke, they're like giving like homes away for like food or whatever. It's just crazy.
My homie was in the Egyptian Revolution when he was like stuck there, and he was in Egypt, and when all that whole thing was happening, there was like all the protesters and everything, and I forgot the president at the time, but they're protesting against him. So what he did was went to the prison with like all like the biggest like rapists, murderers, everything, armed them, and it was just like go after the
Holy shit.
The president gave guns to the fucking criminals?
yeah, and then he was like go after the protesters, and then what he did was basically make the news come out and say this is what the protesters are doing. They're raping and murdering and doing that.
So they turned them.
So the whole like world was like, look at the Egyptian people. This is what they're doing. But from the inside, because they shut off all communication for them and they controlled what went out, was like, this is what the protesters are doing. We're like worried about us. So the whole world was like, damn, like they're turning against the people. They're crazy.
Jeez.
So they could like turn it like that too. But like,
That's why shit could turn like crazy overnight. So I think it's good to be prepared.
because people think it won't happen. Like one of the biggest things with like the gun debate is like, oh, why would you have guns? That's never gonna happen. But like,
Well, because in America we're so protected and we live in a bubble. We don't think that things can go wrong. But if you, I mean, like some of our families came from as war refugees or whatever, and they know that shit can really go bad in a country.
Yeah, they see how bad it can get.
Yeah, I think some people believe, I think the checks and balances in the U.S. government is intact enough and strong enough to like
Prevent any of
withstand
that?
a lot of that stuff from ever happening. But I don't know. The older I get, and the more like educated I get, and the more I read, the less I.
But at the same time, like, America has a lot more dominoes to fall before you get to that point.
But it did happen here in the 90s in LA.
With the riots.
With LA riots, they abandoned Koreatown, and then all the Koreans had to kind of get together, and they used guns to kind of protect their shops. Because what looters were doing was they were taking all the product and burning down the whole properties.
Damn.
Because they were so pissed, you know? So they're just like, I'm burning everything down.
And that's the US and that's the LA and the cops in
The cops abandoned, and then they created like a perimeter so they won't go into like Beverly Hills and all the rich areas. So the cops or like the National Guard protected the rich, but they didn't protect all the inner city people that needed help. So it did happen here, you know?
and then before that, like in the 50s, the National Guard, didn't they shoot students for trying to get like black students into like school? Because they like basically like white people were like not wanting black kids to go to school.
Oh, during segregation times?
Yeah.
And the I think it was like the National
Live
Guard
bullets.
shot them.
So it does happen. It's just that, I don't know, man, like people that live in
We have
bubbles
TikTok,
and they're
so-
safe. Yeah, dude, like they don't know shit.
Powered by China.
You just forget how crazy shit can get and how quickly.